am Sneezy Ferret, aka Lottie. This is Scout. Say hi, Scout. Hi, Scout. Today we're reading through Am I the A-Holes on Reddit. You ready? You ready? You're ready. We're ready. Yeah, you can't bite my cheek, can you? You're gonna try that one. Okay, so am I the a-hole for booking my son on an exam just to settle an argument? I, 40-year-old male, have booked my son, let's say less than 10, a meeting with an eye doctor to settle an argument. Some context. My mother-in-law was once an eye nurse. She worked in the industry for ages, and I'm sure for everyone else, other than family, her opinion would be valid. However, she is also a boomer, a liar, and one of those people who is never wrong. Not a great way of starting out. Look, I don't know if you're the a-hole or not, but I really hate the insults of different generational insults. I just think they're not helpful and just stupid. Say that she's a liar, say that you don't like her, whatever, but yeah, that is just my own personal thing. You can come at her with facts and she will just say, oh well, if it was me, blah blah blah. So fast forward to my son. The school did an eye exam and sent him home with a slip saying we should get his eyes checked. So off to the mall eye place I go and get his eyes tested. They come back with a minus 1.6. Okay, so he's a bit short-sighted. They did multiple tests, drops, scans, etc. And a few weeks later, boom, he has glasses. Fast forward a few more weeks and almost everything the mother-in-law takes the kids to, I guess, she sneakily ensures my son doesn't have his glasses. She's even said on a few occasions, oh, you don't need those. What makes it worse is it bleeds over to my partner. She has started getting relaxed with my son's glasses and on occasions has taken him out some mornings without his glasses. I can't help but shake the feeling that the mother-in-law and on some level my partner are hurt that I just acted and got him glasses. For some more context, my other son also has glasses and has worn them for ages, so as soon as the other son's diagnosis comes in, I just acted as if it's no big deal. So here I find myself at the position that I want to sit down with my partner and an independent eye doctor and get their view if all this glasses on, glasses off things are hurting his eyes or not. First of all, yeah, they are. Okay, let's start with the short-sighted thing. Your son's short-sighted, has been given glasses and needs to have his glasses on. That's simple. I'm short-sighted myself. You can probably see how thick my lenses are. And this is thin lenses. I had a similar issue when I was growing up. Other than my grandmother, I'm the only one in my family with glasses. Now, my grandmother's just as short-sighted as I am. My eyes seem to be replicas of hers. She would tell everyone she thought I needed glasses. Everyone ignored it until I was about 10 years old. Was doing really badly in school, even though I'm a bright button. And the last thing that happened was me walking into a lamppost, comic style. It was very painful, but after that, my nan took me to the optometrist. I got glasses, and yeah, from then on, I had glasses. At least, my parents weren't dumb enough to think that I didn't need them at that point. So it seems like, first of all, you need to have a sit-down chat with your mother-in-law and tell her to back off. She shouldn't be taking your son anywhere without a medical device. Glasses are a medical device. And if something happens, if, say for example, there's a warning sign and your son can't see it, that's on her. I know that's like worst case scenario, but they are a medical device. You need them. You wouldn't take a... My ferrets are trashing everything. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sorry, I'm full of cold this morning. Again. It's probably allergies. I think I'm allergic to my child's cat, but either way. So yeah, you don't take a child without a medical device. It's that simple. If you had a child with one leg, you wouldn't take the child without the prosthetic or a wheelchair. It's utterly ridiculous. As for your partner, she, again, should know better. I think, though, that what you need to do is have a sit-down chat with everyone. I'm kind of concerned about you and your mother-in-law's relationship because it seems like it's really bad. So I do wonder if in the past you've acted... I'm not saying she's not a bad person. She might be the devil for all I know. But from the comments you make in the beginning there, it seems like you're not... You don't have a good relationship, and I wonder if having one up on her has made you feel a bit too smug. Regardless, I can't see a problem with what you did. You went out and got your sunglasses after the school said he needed glasses. Yeah, you got your son what he needed. There's nothing wrong with that. If your partner is funny, if your partner is not taking him with his glasses, then not good. So yeah, you need to talk to her. I'd also have a chat with your son and just say, look, you know you need them. You're going to have to start making sure you have them with you at all times. That kind of thing. I mean, mine go on when I wake up in the morning and go to bed at night, so I can't even not wear mine in the bathtub. Let's see what the comments say. Edit context, yeah. Oh, he's short-sighted and therefore can see his writing, but stuff on the board could be fuzzy. Yeah, which is going to impact on his learning. He should always have his glasses on him. That symbol. Yeah, quickly, for young kids, what you can get if he keeps like forgetting them or like takes them off during the day, you can get ones which have got almost like swimming goggle type connector things to make it kind of make them stay on. So I don't know. People have weird problems. Not the arsehole. Your son was already tested and needs glasses, and your wife and mother-in-law aren't accepting that. You're right to set up a new eye exam to settle the argument because the argument needs to be settled. Does your insurance cover it, and when was the last eye exam? You should all be getting examined yearly anyway if your insurance covers it. Let's say we're in a country where this would be free. Probably the UK, my assumption. I wish it was free. It's not. It's very, very expensive. I think I get like the equivalent of about $12 off because of how bad my eyes are, but otherwise we have to pay for them. They're bloody expensive. My glasses are like 3 times as much as my husband's. Not the she may not listen to the doctor though. Yeah, I mean if she thinks that, I mean the son's already seen one person at school and another optometrist, so you need to get on the same page as your wife. I take it that neither of you wear glasses. That prescription is small enough that he could get by without them, but it will strain his eyes. Yeah, they'll give him headaches. When I was a kid, I use my own experience here, but when I was a kid, the eye strain would give me headaches and nausea. So that's a nearsighted prescription, so he probably doesn't need them to read a book, but it would help him to see the whiteboard at the front of his classroom. It'll help him track a baseball to catch too. Yeah. On the other hand, the prescription is big enough that he'd be required to wear them to drive a car. Don't let your wife and mother-in-law ruin this for your son. I have the same prescription and won't leave the house without my glasses. They just make life so much easier. Yeah. Again, I view glasses as being the same as any other medical device. You need them to be able to function. I realise that, yes, there's a difference between the prescription. I mean, mine, I can't see anything. But that doesn't really matter. It's a bit like, okay, well, my husband's asthmatic, but make sure that he has his inhalers on us when we go somewhere. Not because he has an asthma attack every 5 minutes, but because he might. Same thing for glasses. My mother-in-law takes her reading glasses with her. Not because she particularly might be taking a book, but because she might need them. You just never know. You need to have these devices with you. Sorry to say, but you're the arsehole for not standing up to your mother-in-law. I agree with that and telling her to back off. You're the parent, you're in charge of your son, and that what you say goes. And you should be having a discussion with your wife as well. Yeah. There was another story that I was watching somebody else cover, which was this man whose wife was a vegan. And he'd become a vegetarian, but the son was sneaking around behind their back having like non-vegetarian vegan snacks. And the husband was just helping him do that. It's just, no, you need to talk with your partner. That's half the problem with all these people is, is the lack of communication. You wonder if these people actually live together. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You like my glasses, don't you? But you like to try and steal them. That's the difference. Yes, you do. Should we move on to the next story? Yeah. Where you going? Yeah, you're being watched. Am I the a-hole for asking my partner's sister to reimburse our flights after agreeing to babysit her toddler for a week? Okay. It says there everyone sucks, but we'll see. My partner and I agreed to fly out to watch her 1.5-year-old nephew for a week while his parents go on an international vacation. I have a little issue with that, but okay. The trip has been planned for a while, and they asked her if we could stay at their place and take care of him while they're away. We both love the little guy and we're happy to help, but we're starting to feel a bit weird about how it's playing out. We wouldn't be making this trip if it weren't for the babysitting. We're in saving mode right now and we weren't planning to travel, so we're assuming, maybe incorrectly, that the parents would offer to cover our flights since we're using our PTO and giving up a week to help them out. When my partner brought it up, her sister said she wished she'd known sooner and that they broke after paying for the trip. Now there's this underlying tension, like we were out of line for even asking. I've stayed out of the conversation myself. This has all been between my partner and her sister, but I'm supporting her and we're both starting to feel taken for granted. It's not about trying to make money off the situation, but it's hard not to feel a little used when we're doing them a huge favour and covering our own travel just so they can go on vacation. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, you are. Everyone is. First of all, I wouldn't be leaving my 1.5-year-old for a week to fly out of the country because you don't know what could happen. That simple. And not just that, but a 18-month-old, you don't know what you're going to miss. I'd never want to miss that from my child. Secondly, when you were planning this in the beginning, maybe it's something you should have brought up then if you were that desperate for a reimbursement, but you don't bring it up afterwards. That's just stupid. You should have explained that beforehand. That way maybe they could have dropped their child off at your home, whatever. But no, everyone here sucks, they're right. Leaving your child for a week, international vacation. If it was something such as, I don't know, an overseas funeral or something, perhaps, yeah, I get it. But again, still, I'd want to take my child with me. And yeah, asking for money after you've already done something is just uncouth. No, you should have talked about it beforehand. You knew the deal when you flew out there to look after your nephew. You don't then decide after the fact, well, they should have given us money, and get grumpy about it. That's just, yeah. It's very simple. Let's see what the comments say. Everyone sucks here. You for not asking about reimbursement before agreeing and booking your flights. Your in-laws for not making the conditions more. Your in-laws? I think what you mean is your... Oh yeah, in-laws, duh. My brain went to mother-in-law. They're not making the conditions more clear and expecting you to pay for the privilege of babysitting the child. Lesson learned. Don't agree with anything before it's clear what the conditions are. Yep. Exactly. OP did a huge favour and it's not reasonable to expect some help with the travel costs when the whole trip was for babysitting. It sucks that expectations weren't clear on either side, but it definitely feels like the OP is being taken for granted. This should have been discussed up front, but OP's frustration is totally valid. Yeah, I mean, myself, if I was asked to look after my nephew, I'd jump at the chance. Looked after him a couple of times when he was growing up, and it's so much fun. Not for weeks, and not for whilst they ever went out of the country, because they always took their child because they're good parents. I know some people are going to not like that, but I don't mean like you're not allowed to go out for the night and have a date night and stuff, but flying out of the country, if an emergency happens, you are thousands of miles away. I can't get behind it. I'm sure, again, that people will disagree with me, but my own personal experience, I never left my child for more than a couple of hours. I suppose a little bit different because she had a lot of health issues growing up, but yeah, I just can we have this set rule, like, don't have kids if you don't intend to actually be there with them. Like, vacation time with a child is supposed to be a big family event. I remember so the first proper vacation we went on with my child was when she was 6, 7. We went camping because that's all we could afford at the time. Tough, and it was a lot of fun. She looks back at it fondly, and so do we. It was just really nice to be together as a family because that's what we chose. We chose a family, not a couple with a add-on kid. But yeah, I'm sorry for the harsh criticism, but yeah, my own thoughts are, if you have a child, you have a child. Everyone sucks here. Can't imagine asking my sibling to pay for a fly-in and take a week off of PTO to watch my kid without any sort of reimbursement or compensation. That's insane, but also this would have all been avoided if you could just have asked before buying the flights. We'd love to come watch nephew, but money is tight right now. Will you cover the flights? If they declined, you could have declined to come. Yeah. People don't talk anymore. I think that seems to be the mass... Yeah, you will get an F in communication. Yes, that is what everybody's problem is, and most on Reddit. I love reading these, but it does occur to me that most of these problems could be solved just by opening your mouth. Either way, right, let's... I don't know. And why the hell are broke people going on an international vacation when they have a baby to care for? They should have savings. They can't afford this trip. Yeah. It seems like, though, not most people are not talking about the holiday thing, so it seems like I'm in a minority then. Oh, yeah. Why on earth are you using your PTO to babysit their kid? PTO is precious. They have a kid now. Normally what parents do when they go on vacation is take their kid with them. Why can't they do that? Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, everyone sucks. Everyone always sucks. I suck sometimes. You stop. Ugh, you poofed. Oh. I love you, but you smell. You poofed. Okay, so, am I the a-hole for not going to my sister's graduation dinner after her ceremony so I can have a birthday dinner? Yes, you're the a-hole. Have your birthday dinner the next night. Your sister didn't get to pick a graduation date. If anything, I'd say you're selfish being born on the day that would eventually be a graduation. Not really, but yeah. Hey, I, 29 female, have an interesting relationship with my little sister, 21 female. We used to be close as we dealt with an abusive parent growing up. I stepped up to try and protect her from them, and I feel I've been treated more like a mother than a sister. Yeah, it sounds familiar. I have a similar situation with my little sister, and I would show up every day, any time for her. Because she's my little sister and I love her. She was one of the first people to hold my daughter. She was like 5 years old at the time. There's a massive age difference between me and her. And sharing that moment with her was one of the most special moments in my life. I love her. Yeah, I stepped up to try and protect her from them, and I feel I've been treated more like a mother than a sister. Yeah, it's great. It's some not so great situations for our relationship now, as we're both healing on our own journeys. She's graduating on my birthday. I received an invitation, even though she's told me she wants to be no contact, and we're navigating what that looks like. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. We barely speak anymore. I decided that I'm going, and my husband will come as well. The graduation is a private ceremony just for her school, so her name can get called as she walks across the stage. She's also presenting an awesome project her and her peers created. She asked me my plans for my birthday, and I told her going to your graduation. My sister then said, but what are your plans for your actual birthday? I really wanted to try Sandbox VR and have a nice dinner. Oh, boo-hoo, you may miss out on some VR you can do the next day. Ugh. My husband agreed and said we could leave after the ceremony as he already reserved something, but my dad, not by birth but is her birth dad, said it's wrong I don't go to her graduation dinner, which is hot pot. Then proceeded, does it matter what the food is? I wouldn't care if it was literally a sandwich. You're celebrating your little sister's graduation. Then proceeded to say that they would pay for my meal as a gift. I don't know if I'm in the wrong and don't realise it because the plan is to leave after speaking with my sister and taking any pictures she wants. I obviously don't know the situation between you and your sister because this is several paragraphs and obviously relationships are a lifetime. But to be honest, you sound like a cold a-hole. Really? You think that, so to you, playing VR and having a nice dinner is more important than your little sister's graduation, where she's doing an awesome project, your words, that her and her peers have created. You could literally do the dinner with your husband the next day, and the fact that you're not by birth but is her birth dad, so what, stepdad, has offered to pay for your meal as a gift. It seems like they're really trying really hard and you're not even willing to bridge that gap a little. I don't understand the no contact thing. My only assumption is that you're a cold a-hole and so your sister wants a bit of a break from you, which counteracts a little bit to the part where it says you stepped up to try and protect her from them and feel like you've been treated more like a mother than a sister. I don't want to go into too many details about my own personal life, but again, it's a similar situation with my little sister, mainly because of the age gap between us. And I don't regret anything. I'm thankful for the relationship that I have with my sister. She's an amazing person and I'm incredibly lucky to have in my life. She's artistic and kind and caring, loving, sweet. She's my little pinky. That's her nickname from me. But yeah, family's family, and I get that, you know, I say family's family and I have a cut off with a hell of a lot of my own family, but Yeah, sometimes family sucks, but I think you're the one who sucks. Let's see what the comments say. Hold on. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I wasn't sure if I was the a-hole for wanting to put myself first after celebrating my sister's graduation. I was told I was in the wrong for not going to the dinner. What are you doing? Hello. Yeah, hello. Oh, we have Quinn awake. Yeah, hi Quinn. Hi. So, yeah, you're in the wrong for putting yourself first on that particular date. Put yourself first next year. I just don't have any sympathy. It's a dinner. It's not like you'd already planned some vacation in like thousands of miles away that you couldn't get reimbursed for. Although me personally, I'd give up on the holiday and still go to the graduation. But let's read a comment. You're the a-hole. Based on your comments I've seen so far, you're almost 30. You can celebrate your birthday the next day. If you want a relationship with your sister, go to her graduation party. You said in a comment that you're already driving quite a way to see her. Just go to dinner. She's not ignoring that it's your birthday. No, she literally asked you what you're doing for your birthday. She's trying to celebrate it with you by spending time with you on a day that's important to both of you. To be honest, you sound like you don't want to have a relationship with her and that her graduation is an inconvenience to you. Comment underneath this. If the relationship is rocky and you went no contact, it's okay to not attend at all. I'm sure you have your reasons, OP, but I agree that you would just move your birthday dinner if you actually want to celebrate your sister. She obviously cares that you attend the dinner, not just the ceremony. So either be there for the whole thing or don't. But don't act like it's about previous plans for a dinner with friends. Be honest with yourself if you even want to go at all, because it sounds like you really don't, and that's okay as long as you're truthful about it. Yeah. I mean, as I said in the beginning, I don't know what the full relationship is between these two people. Again, you can't work that out in a couple of paragraphs, but you can't on the one hand say that you tried to step up and be a mother figure to your sister, and then not want to, and then you're apparently going no contact, but you're both still talking, which is not no contact. Yeah, I think you're an a-hole. Celebrate your birthday the day before or after. Even children don't mind doing that. All the children's birthday parties here are on Saturdays, not necessarily on the actual birthday. Yep, if kids can do it, you should be able to also, yeah. Info, I'm confused. Does your sister want you at the graduation dinner? It doesn't matter what your dad thinks is right or wrong, but rather what your sister wants. You sound like an a-hole. And how you've put your comment sounds like you're an a-hole. So you used to be close now. I don't get the no contact thing. It doesn't seem to make any sense in regards to the rest of the post. Yeah, I just think you're the a-hole. Let's move on to the next story. Okay, so am I the a-hole for not making sure mum is included? We try to include my mum in holiday celebrations on my husband's side. Christmas Eve, we take her with us to his family's, and then we spend the night at her house, do presents with her alone. Then she comes with us to mother-in-law's house to do Christmas morning at mother-in-law's with brother-in-law, sister-in-law, nieces and nephews. That's really, really sweet of you, and really, really sweet of your in-laws. A lot of in-laws would not want extra people there. My husband's family is doing brunch this year for Mother's Day, and my mum wants to attend, but I told her I'd really like to do separate things. I told her it's normal to do different events for your parents and your in-laws, and it's unusual to combine every holiday with your parents and your in-laws. It is. It is unusual. I wouldn't say it's not a nice thing, but yeah, it's unusual. Also, I didn't tell her this, but it's stressful for me to have her there, because I'm constantly worrying about how my mum will react to things, and what she will say that will be rude or offensive. She's got a very abrasive personality, and sometimes I wonder if she's a narcissist. For example, Christmas morning at my mother-in-law's, and my mother-in-law got a beautiful wind chime. She loves wind chimes. My mum went on a long rant about how she hates wind chimes because they're loud and annoying. Well, it sounds like she's loud and annoying. It was so awkward, and I felt terrible for my mother-in-law because she couldn't really enjoy it with my mum talking about how much she hates it. Back to this year's Mother's Day. Mum said she doesn't want me to do different events on the same day because she doesn't want me stressed out running around. I told her it wasn't stressful and it's actually more convenient to do it that way. She was not happy. She wants to be invited to the brunch, or she doesn't want to see me at all that day. Okay, she wants to choose a completely different day just for her. I planned to buy flowers and these really cool stacking planters for us that we could make up together. She said she has all the flowers she wants this year and she doesn't want more, which hurt my feelings because I know if she was going to the brunch she'd be happy to plant flowers with me. Also, that's the gift I picked for her, and she basically told me she doesn't like it, doesn't want it. She said it's Mother's Day and I should be with my mother, not my mother-in-law. I tried explaining that during the brunch, yes, that would be the case, but then in the afternoon I'd be with my mother and my husband would be with his mother-in-law. So it's fair. Even because we were each seeing our mum and our mother-in-law. She said no. Just like, no, that's not how it works. I'm like, what? She says I'm gaslighting her and she should be included for brunch because she's my mum and it's Mother's Day and she's all alone. I do feel sad my stepdad passed away and that she lives alone, but I feel like it's unfair for her to constantly use the widow card to try and manipulate me into doing what she wants, inviting her. I feel confused and sad. It's normal to want to do separate celebrations sometimes, right? Or am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole and I feel really bad for you. Really bad for you. It seems like you and your husband have tried your best to incorporate both families together. It seems like your husband and your husband's family, have I got that right? Yeah. Have tried your best to help your mum, who's a widow, to not feel alone and to be included in all these holidays. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to do them separately. Personally, I think maybe she's kind of jealous of the relationship you have with your in-laws. I think that's probably the case. She doesn't like your in-laws because you're close. I think she'd probably prefer it if they were horrible people, but they don't seem like it. They seem to be lovely people. I don't see anything that you've done wrong. I just feel really bad for you. Obviously it's sad that she's lost her husband, your stepdad, but so we always say a lot that parents should not try to live through their children. Live for their children, but the same kind of applies reversed, and that is a child cannot live for their parent. Your lives are separate. I'll go with the Bible adage, that man shall leave his parents and cleave to his wife, and vice versa. I think there's some truth to that. When you choose to marry someone, you're then making a new family. That new family then becomes the core of your life. It seems like you're trying your best to unite both families, but if your mother acts, as you said, abrasively, then it's passive aggressive for her to just turn around and say, well, then don't come at all. That's, I won't use the word I'd probably use for that kind of behaviour, biatch, but it seems like a really nice thing. Like, I've got a older child, and if my child for Mother's Day said, look, I'm going to be with my partner's parents during the morning and then I'll be with you in the afternoon, I'd clap and get excited. I mean, me personally, I'd say, is there any way that you and your partner could come around in the afternoon and then both of you be with them in the morning so that I can spend time with both of you as a couple, because you're a couple. It's what me and my husband do, although it's a bit different with my mother-in-law, but because she lives here with us. But Mother's Day is a big deal, and we make sure that my husband's terrible at remembering days, so usually I'm the one doing the presents and stuff, but we do it together because you try and honour that. And the answer to this one is just, it's sad. It's just sad. It seems like you've done lots of things. I think you're just going to have a sit-down chat with your mum and say, look, I'm now married. I've now got 2 families. That doesn't make you any less important to me. You're still vital to me. You're important to me and my husband, which is why we're trying to celebrate both of you. Yeah. But you have to remember that, this is fault for her. I have a husband now too, and he has family, and we need to celebrate them just as much as we celebrate you. I'd be embarrassed if I was in that mother situation, because I'd feel bad. But you seem to think she's a narcissist. I don't know if I'd go full on narcissist. I'd say angry, upset, and jealous of the relationship you have with your in-laws. Some parents just find it hard to let go, I think. I find it strange that it's not you and your husband going around there to do the planting and stuff, because I thought you'd want to do that as a family, especially seeing as when you invite her, like, to be, you're all together. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. With me, we try and include everyone. it's more difficult because I only have contact with my dad, and my dad lives really far away. I absolutely adore him. If I could have him here like every weekend to do things with my mother-in-law, I'd jump at the chance. Those two get along really well, which is lovely. Let's see what the comments say. Not the asshole. It's totally normal and honestly pretty common to split time between families on holidays. You're not excluding her, you're just trying to manage a day that honours multiple mums without unnecessary stress or drama. Like, here's a question. What happens if you then have a child? If you're the mum then? Are you still going to run around everyone else is celebrating everybody else? What happens when your child wants to celebrate you? Because that's what's going to happen. If you have a child, you're going to want to be the mum in that situation, so you probably do send flowers and spend some time with your kid. Is she going to get jealous then? It sounds like your mum is struggling with being alone and maybe using guilt to get her way, which isn't fair to you. Wanting a peaceful, balanced Mother's Day doesn't make you a bad daughter. No. You're allowed to set boundaries, especially if her behaviour tends to make events uncomfortable. You've offered a thoughtful plan and it's okay if she doesn't like it, but that doesn't mean you have to change it. Yup. Oh, the OP. Thank you so much. This honestly makes me feel so much better. I'm a mum. Oh, you are a mum now too. And I'm struggling with what I want to do versus honouring our own mothers. Aww. Stay at home. I mean, if you want to do the brunch thing with your in-laws, then yeah. But if there's such a big issue, yeah, I'd stay at home and say, look, both... I know there's nothing wrong with your in-laws. I'm not saying there is, but they've had years of being celebrated as being a mum. It's your turn. And I know that my mother-in-law would never have a problem with that. In fact, on Mother's Day, she always makes sure that my husband remembers and that something nice is done. But then I'm lucky. My mother-in-law's a wonderful lady. I'll assume you're an only child and your mother doesn't have any other family, siblings, cousins to spend holidays with. That being said, not the a-hole. Really, I don't understand why she needs to tag along on Mother's Day to your in-laws since you'd spend time with her later on. I'd say stick to your guns on this holiday at least. Yeah, I think everyone needs to have a sit-down talk. Haha, just imagining me telling my mother she has an abrasive nature gives my anxiety hives. She would completely turn that round as a personal attack on her. She doesn't see it and always denies she's the one causing drama because she hates drama and doesn't do drama. Oh, right, yeah. Oh, there's another AP post. So someone put, why can't you spend the whole day with your mother? Your husband can spend the day with his mother. And the OP's put, why should we have to split up? I love my mother-in-law and that doesn't take away from the love I have for my own mother. My husband also loves my mother and enjoys seeing her. We like to see them both when we're in town. Yeah, that's normal. Also, we have a daughter, so who does she go with, me or him? Because I'm mum, and then my mother-in-law doesn't get to see her granddaughter at all because I can't go over there since my mum needs to have me the whole day. Yeah. Your mum's being unreasonable, and I think you are being way too reasonable. I think your mother-in-law is being way too reasonable. When you get married, you're taking on like a new family, yeah, which it usually includes the in-laws, but generally it's the core family, so husband, wife, whatever, however that works, and kids. I feel so sorry for you, OP. I think you need to just stay home, not that day, but yeah, it's also your Mother's Day if you have kids. Boundaries, my dear, are important. Maybe have a chat with mother-in-law about a plan. Yeah. Oh, okay, another OP. Ooh, this turned into a juicy one. So in the past, my mother-in-law always says yes, even though you can tell she'd rather say no. She's a people pleaser too. It was always enthusiastic yeses until after my baby shower. My mum was pretty awful to my mother-in-law during it. My mum threw a huge fit because some tablecloths were put out at the venue before she got there, and a Sensi was plugged in long enough to melt the wax. So she accused my mother-in-law of purposely doing that early to try and cut my mum out of getting to help decorate. My mum left and didn't decorate at all, came back for the party, left again to go to the bar and didn't help clean up at all. I had to call her to come and leave the bar and get her punch dish she left us with. Punch still in it. She asked if my mother-in-law could take the bowl home and she'd pick it up later, and I said no, it needs cleaning. Come and get your bowl. She was like, well, I just ordered a beer. I said, I don't care, come and get your bowl. She claimed that since she didn't get to help decorate, that she didn't have to help clean it either. Okay, your mum's a bitch. So after that, my mother-in-law always still says yes, but I know she'd prefer to say no. I just don't want to push the issue because I too would like some time without my mother there. In my head, I'm like, okay, I asked my mother-in-law for every single get together if my mum can come too, and she says yes, even though I know she doesn't want it to come. So for Mother's Day, I just won't ask, and I'll let my mother-in-law enjoy some one-on-one time with her kids without my mum there. Maybe that's wrong of me, but I don't want my mum to come to every single event that I get to go to. Sometimes I just want to enjoy my husband's side of the family without her there. She monopolizes me and doesn't really talk to anyone else, so I can't really socialize either because I'm constantly entertaining my mum. Right? This comment. I hate to say this, so because like I really do feel for you, but you are now using your in-laws. You know what would make them happy, and you're making them have to bend over backwards constantly to accommodate your mother, who is mean to them. And you're doing that. Now, I hope not, but there is a possibility that if you keep doing that, you're going to ruin your relationship with them, and it seems like they love you and want you to be part of their family too. Yeah, you oh, I hate saying this, I really do, because again, I do feel sorry for you, but you're using your in-laws as a way of buffering your mum's temperament, so that you don't have to deal with it yourself. Sometimes we do. I hate to say it, but sometimes if your mother's going to act like that, it's a cut-off. You need to set some really firm boundaries with her, and if it hurts her feelings, well, tough. You're not making unfair boundaries. It's pretty much I cannot let this woman anymore affect my husband's family. It's unfair on him and his family. So, yeah, I do feel for you, I do, but if your mother-in-law really is that unhappy because of what she's having to do to try to make her happy, no, you have to do something about it. Again, you're the mother now too, so yeah, you're also important. Let's do one more story and then we'll cut this because my comments have been so long. Okay, so am I the a-hole for telling my mum that I was there for more than 2 hours than it was supposed to be? Okay, sorry in advance for any grammar mistakes. I'm crying while writing this. Aw, sweetheart, don't cry. I, 19 female, went to an event today to take pictures, so I was getting paid for it too. I'm not very good at taking photos, and I just do it for fun because I love it. But anyway, my mum had told her friend from church that I'd be able to take photos of her daughter's event, and I wasn't aware of this until 2 to 3 days before the event. I was a little frustrated because of that, but I showed up at the event and took pictures. My mum told me that it was only for 2 hours, and I was fine with that. Side note, my mum told her friend that I charged $25 an hour. 2 hours turned into 4.5 hours. I was getting upset at that point because they gave me 60, an extra 10 for only 2 hours. Ugh, I'd be getting upset too. Then when I got home, I wanted to tell her that it was more than 2 hours, and she got mad at me because she was on the phone. I didn't know that she was on the phone, that was my bad. She started raising her voice at me because she thought it was about the money. I don't remember saying anything about the money to her. Then she proceeds to tell me that I should be grateful for the money I got, and that I should drop my ego from up here to all the way here. But I wasn't even mad about the money. I didn't even bring up the money thing. Oh, but then she continues to tell me that I should be grateful that she gave me that gig and everything. But at this point I wanted to cry. I was trying not to and was eating chips to hold back tears, and then before she slammed my door she even added, "You shouldn't be eating those chips anyway, you're looking fat and gaining weight." So am I the a-hole? No. If I am, please explain to me why. Edit 1. I just want people to know that I'm the eldest daughter of my 2 brothers, who can do no wrong in my parents' eyes. I am also a part-time college student, and I'm about to bust my small business that I run. I make these rainbow loom items, and I'm also physically disabled. I can't run. Even if I wanted to, I'd fall. I have cerebral palsy, if people ask, and no, I don't have a bad case of it. Because of that, I'm 85 to 94 pounds, I can't remember, and I'm 4'10". I live in a Mexican military. My dad is in the military household, where it's hard to speak your mind and feelings. Everything I say is always turned down or turned around to my fault. My very loving boyfriend has been making me feel better as this whole thing is slowly passing my mind. Oh, hon, I really wish I could give you a big hug. Okay, I'm going to deal with the least important stuff first. I say least important, hopefully that'll make sense in a minute. So, you've learned an important lesson, which is never do any work if you're in your own business or family. Because 9 times out of 10, someone will screw you. The reason why I say this is least important is because I more have a problem with what happened after the fact. Can we focus on that part where she said you shouldn't be eating those chips anyway, you're looking fat and gaining weight? That's abusive. I'm sorry, and I don't care what size you are, whether you're small, big, it really makes no difference. If as a parent you have a serious issue or concern with your child's weight or their health, then you sit them down and you chat to them about it in a proactive way, in a nice way, because all you're going to do is depress your child and then make them want to eat more, because that's kind of how that cycle works. Your mother is abusive. That is cruel. You never talk to your child like that. Ever. That's just disgusting. It seems to me that I'm not going to try and make an excuse for her. Maybe she realised she was in the wrong and so decided to just, be worse? So, yeah, you said that you have a loving boyfriend. Any chance that you could move in with him? Any chance at all? Because I think you'd be better off with him. It says that you have cerebral palsy and so you run your own small business. Clap. It's not as bad in any way, shape or form, but I had to quit work because of my arthritis, so I started an at-home business. I know it's hard work, and I can't imagine how hard it would be to have cerebral palsy. I don't know, alright? I find it difficult enough with my arthritis, so well done and congratulations for that. You're trying to be a good citizen. You're trying to do something for yourself, and that is amazing, and your parents should be bloody proud of you. I'm proud of you. I know that makes no difference because I'm a stranger, but I'm proud of you. Alright? You did a difficult thing and you did it anyway. On top of that, you're also trying to do part-time college. Seems to me that you should be a daughter that any parent should be proud of. And I'd ask, if your boyfriend lives at home, what's his parents like? Would they be kind enough to just have you stay there for a little while, just have a break even? Your parents suck. Obviously you haven't put a lot about your dad. You say it's military, so he's more kind of like, I don't know, less feelings, more... Sorry. Now, some advice other than that and running away from the situation. If you desperately want to try to improve relationships, maybe sitting down with your father, and if he's more kind of like less feelings, but, more, I don't know, business. You could explain to him, look, you are trying to look after yourself by running a business, and you're a little, don't use the word upset or anything, keep feelings out completely. Just say that in future, if your mother intends to try to, employ you on behalf of someone else, that you have a contract written out so that you know that you're actually going to get paid for your work, because, so try and keep it... I feel bad having to give this advice in the first place, because it sounds like your parents just suck. But sometimes you're in a sucky situation you can't get out of, and so you've got to try to just make the best of it. So yeah, I would try to have a sit down talk maybe with your dad if he's a little more easier to talk to, because it sounds like your mother's incredibly emotional and annoying. I'm trying to be nice. I just want to give you a hug. It sounds like you're doing everything right. Again, if you were my daughter, I'd be so proud of you. I don't get it. Okay, let's move on to the comments. Not the asshole, not by a mile. First off, if you have a rate you charge and someone gives you 10 extra only to keep you there 2 more hours than agreed, that is not generous, that's taking advantage, yeah. Totally not cool. They knew you charged 25 and gave you nearly half what they owed you because they kept you double the time. That's crazy. Secondly, your mother has no right to treat you poorly like that. This has nothing to do with your ego. It seems she's projecting her issues onto you. Yep. It always appalls me when parents treat their kids this way, and that final comment, vile, terrible, uncalled for, ridiculous. You are deserving of respect as a person and as a daughter. Don't let her treat you like that. You don't deserve it. It's emotional abuse. Yes, it is. I hope everything turns out alright, OP. Me too. Your mum's toxic. While I don't understand emotional eating, I recognise it's a thing. Her comment to you was blatantly rude. Her flying off the handle when you interrupted her phone call was petty. Expecting you to work twice as long for no more remuneration is ridiculous. She's totally the asshole. Yeah, the emotional eating thing, yeah, if you make someone feel worse than they already do, they're just going to turn back to eating. As a parent, you should kind of recognise that, and maybe if, Well, it's a bit difficult, I suppose, if you're the cause of your daughter's problems, though, isn't it? Artists are always being devalued. You may not be good at the art, but a deal is a deal. You'll get flack, but if you truly couldn't leave, withhold the overtime photos until compensated. Yeah. Tell Mum the consequence of breaking this deal is no more photo-related agreement. The downside of this, of course, is that once you're an adult, she can demand compensation for you as a condition for not kicking you out. That might not be the case. I don't know where you live, but if you have a child with a disability such as cerebral palsy, you can't just kick them out and make them homeless. I believe. I'm not a lawyer or something, so you'll have to look into that, but I'm pretty certain. And Now also, I'm a photographer as a hobby and often do small family events, and I've even done a few small weddings. I will give you advice from a photographer to another. It's great that your mum or maybe friends get you jobs, but you should always have separate conversation with the client. Yeah, I don't think she had a chance to, not being only given 2 to 3 days advance warning. Oh. Only send pics that they paid for. Yeah, that's a difficult situation though if you're living with parents who are like that, because then they're likely to shout and cause more issues for you. So, I don't know about, I'd take that advice these days, but I wouldn't have taken that advice years ago. Oh, your mum's toxic. Please, for the sake of your mental health, work on getting away from her. Yep. I know it's difficult because you're in college, etc. That's why I said maybe your boyfriend. You said he's loving. Oh, honey. Be okay. Focus on your relationship with your boyfriend and focus on yourself. You are, from what you've said there, obviously a very hard-working person who's trying to better themselves and overcome what life has given you. You know, being born with a disability it makes life hard, and you trying to overcome that and do something for yourself is amazing and brilliant. And again, I don't understand why your mother is not proud of you. She should be. So should your dad. They should be there as your biggest cheerleaders. The fact that they're not, as far as I'm concerned, they don't deserve your tears. They'll get them because, you don't get to choose that, but they don't deserve them. Know that you are loved very much by people you've never met. And again, if I could see you, I'd give you a massive hug. So please take care. Okay? Know you're doing everything you possibly could. So I'm going to leave because I have this tendency to cry for everybody, because I'm a weepy little bitch. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. My ferrets are going to be in it a lot because they harassed me a lot, so I don't know how I'm going to edit this. Let's see. Well, either way, I will see you lot in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you really want to. Again, small channel, so I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care. You're so sleepy. You're so sleepy. That's my toe, thank you. I'm not food, you realise that, right? One day they're going to find me in it here and I'm just going to be like half a body. You're chewing on my tootsies. Yes, you will be. Yes, you will be. That's not a scary thought.